Hello, this is Manny Acosta, real estate professional, and in this video, I'm going to give you a brief idea of the home buying about how we work. All right, one of the first things we're going to do is go to my website, acostarealestateteam.com. I have all the information here. You can input your name, email, phone number, and a quick message where we're located. First, we're gonna hit, if you're looking to buy a home, you're gonna hit the Buy Your Home tab here. The mobile version looks a little bit different. Here I have videos of the home buying process. Here's a little bit of seminar I did in Spanish. And here are some information, the mortgage loan requirements. All right, so first, if you don't have cash to purchase, you're going to need a loan, right? How can I get pre-qualified for a mortgage loan to determine my budget? This does change, so please verify with the mortgage broker that I'm going to refer you, or if you're already working with someone from financing, please make sure with them. This does change from time to time, and everything depends. It's case by case basis. All right, but first off, usually for first time home buyer, primary home that you're going to live in, minimum credit score would need to be at 500, and you will need to have 10% of whatever the purchase price is for the down payment. All right, and that's plus the closing cost. All right, so 10% of the purchase price. So if the purchase price is 300,000 for a home, so 10% is 30,000. Okay. Closing costs more or less for FHA is about 3 to 5% of that, and it's of the purchase price. So 3 to 5% on top of the down payment. All right. Minimum credit score for FHA is 580 with 3.5% down. Down payment plus the closing cost, which is the same 3 to 5%. Okay. All right. The first option is if your credit is lower than 580, but higher than 500, this is what you need to be at 10% for down payment. If you're at 580, or a little bit higher, then you could do 3.5 or even higher, close to perfect credit score. You still could qualify for as low as this down payment. The preliminary documents you're going to need. All right. You're going to need all of your last 2 years of tax returns. So that's the last 2 years consecutive tax returns. And then most recent pay stubs, W-2, and that is usually the last 2 months. All pages of recent bank statements for usually 2 months back as well. Conventional loan for a primary home, minimum credit score is 680 with 3% of the purchase price for down payment plus closing cost. Conventional does have about the same as FHA for closing, might be a little bit less, but it's good to calculate 3 to 5% for closing on top of the down payment. Preliminary documents that are needed for conventional is pretty much the same as the FHA. All pages of your last 2 years of tax returns, consecutive years, last 2 years of W-2 and 1099, and recent pay stubs if you're W-2. So that's usually 2 months, most recent 2 months back to current, and all pages of recent bank statements, usually 2 months back as well. There are private loans as well. This is a lot easier to qualify for. There's no credit or income verification, but there is a higher down payment that you're going to need to do this. Okay, these are like loan sharks, private lenders that they don't have a problem lending money to anyone. They just, they need to make sure that the numbers work for them. So you're putting a large down payment down, then it's high, even though it's high risk for them, they're willing to do it as long as you give them that down payment. And the interest rate is usually higher on these types of loans as well. And also, here's a guide to buying your home, how to prepare and what to expect during the home buying process. All right. Here's a little information. So action plan to buy in the future. This is if you're thinking about purchasing, don't know where to start, and maybe you're not yet ready. Save up for a down payment. That's always good to do. A lot of the lenders are going to require a down payment. There are some loans where you can get down payment assistance, but if you do have down payment, even better. Some lenders are going to require you have some money in reserves, meaning that you have money saved in an account that you are not touching. So if you haven't touched some money in 2, 3, 4, 5 months, that's good. Years, even better. The longer they see some money in your bank account, the easier it is. And the better they see, the more chance you're gonna have of getting approved for a loan. Okay. And then you get pre-qualified with a lender just to make sure you know your budget, have all the necessary documents required, and have all your finances in order. Okay. The buying process, once you have an up-to-date pre-qualification letter, we will start matching you up with homes that fit your criteria and schedule to view them in person. Then we'll send offers on desired homes. Okay. Once an offer is accepted, we're under contract. There is a legal binding contract there. An earnest money deposit will need to be held with a title company. That's basically a good faith deposit that it is refundable, okay, but we have to make sure we hit our dates. You can't disappear on us, and always communicate constantly. And we'll make sure that doesn't happen. Due diligence period. This is inspection, home appraisals, final loan approvals. So the inspection period is where you have a time where you could inspect the property. You could send an inspector. We have a list of licensed home inspectors that can help, and they're gonna let you know what you're getting into, what the home has, when was the roof changed, the AC system, the plumbing, if there's any leaks that from a basic home inspection that they could tell, then they'll let you know. It's basically lifting up the hood of a vehicle and seeing what's underneath that. So that's definitely good to do, even if the home is new. I would highly recommend doing that. All right. And then this can be renegotiated back to the seller if, for example, if there's anything that's wrong with the property, any damages, we could always renegotiate that with the seller or have the seller try to fix it. And there's also some things for FHA, those types of loans, veteran VA loans that need to be taken care of. Some things like, for example, if there's a bathroom that's missing a toilet, there needs to be a toilet in there before the appraisal. If not, it will not work for those types of loans. For conventional, it's a little bit easier, but for FHA, VA, those types of loans, they do require that the property is pretty much habitable and move-in ready. Okay, then after that, after we get the appraisal as well, that's another part of it's a prepaid that you need to pay. The inspection, any other fees that are involved with the due diligence is something that is a prepaid. So you need to pay upfront, whether you buy the house or not. It's a service that someone is going to provide for you. It's a prepaid for your closing costs, but they're prepaid, so you have to pay before you close on on the house. Okay. This is where the appraisal is where the bank or the lender will make sure that the property is worth the contract price. So if we're buying a house at 300,000, the bank is going to make sure that it's worth that, because they're going to give you the money based on what it's worth, not just if you have a contract for that amount. Okay, then after that, if everything goes fine, you receive final loan approval. During this process too, before the closing, during the inspections, you would need to obtain homeowner insurance as well, especially for financing. And after that, that's it. You close on your home, you get the keys to your dream home. You apply for homestead exemption if you plan on living in the house. This is a tax benefit for primary homeowners, and that's going to help you save on your annual taxes. Okay. That concludes this video. This is Manny Acosta, real estate professional, on the buying process for your home. Hope you enjoyed it.